I've been like this for like 20 minutes. The level of stupidity. Let me just say, my first reaction. I jumped online and I'm like, someone's got to get me the credits of this episode. I need to know who wrote this episode. Because, look, I'm gonna start off in a good sense on this, okay, man? Um, Kruby, in regards to the animators, you did well. These fights, the only issue I have, and I said this in a previous video, is that with Marrow, we should have just gone stay, boom, right at the beginning. Like that's the only thing I'll bitch with the fights, was because they're well choreographed. These fights, they're really well done. The only thing is should have just been stay, and we've seen in the past down at Mantle, he can perform on multiple people. So when he was fighting Weiss and he went stay on Weiss, I'm like, he got her. And then the knight comes down and he's like, boom, stay. I thought Weiss would still be frozen because he's frozen. Well, he's ordered people, um, multiple people before. So when Weiss was free, I was just like, but I can overlook that because it was animated well. Everything was animated well. That was the only issue I had in the fights. Not all the fights. But then you go over to the writing department. Now this is when you get into the gritty of it, because when you go, music was good. There was a lot of instrumental in this. I like instrumental. Like instrumental feels really powerful. Like you can release the song later on a soundtrack or something. A lot of anime do this, where in the anime, the majority of the time it's instrumental, but when it gets released on a soundtrack, it has lyrics. Attack on Titan does this. One of my favorite OSTs from season 3 is instrumental in the show, but on the soundtrack it's got lyrics, and the lyrics are actually even more amazing. So, applause to sound and animators for this episode. I will give credit where credit's due. The writers of this episode, because at this present time, and I really don't like how they're handling directing, because from what it seems like, some guy called is it Connor Pickens or something? Him and Kerry Shawcross are like juggling this, where they're taking turns during the directing, and I'm like, no, 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 that's not. The Ruby project was left to Miles and Kerry, so Miles should be the lead writer, and Kerry should be the head producer, director of the show. All decisions regarding those two elements go through the lead, and then you got all the co-writers and co-producers and shit. So, but anyway, first the writers: Kersi Burkhart and Eddy Rivers, and this is how I look at the script for this episode. This fight, so you're just getting characters, verse, 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 and then you hand it over to the animators. Because I said before, the writers, when it comes to what they're talking about, like if there's character dialogue mid-fight, fair enough, they will write more. But in terms of the actual fight themselves, just leave it to the animators to handle the choreography, because it's clear that lead writers and producers should not be involved in that shit at this point. Let the animators go nuts with that shit. Kersi Burkhart, Eddy Rivers. This episode, I can sum up simply: you guys are fucking morons, and you should be fired after this. Because right now, there is not one Ruby fan that's gone nuts online. I did a quick look over, I even ventured into Reddit, even jumped on Tumblr, which I rarely use, and I've been on Twitter, and not one single fan is happy with the decision for Crow to team up with Tyrion and for Robin to act like a fucking arsehole on that plane. This was some of the dumbest, if not the dumbest, decision making in the entire show. So, in the past, when I've given Miles shit, at least you can say at this point, Miles delivered some great episodes this season when he's been the lead writer of that episode. He's delivered some good episodes this season. Kersi Burkhardt and Eddy Rivers, you should be fired after this, because after this you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. That scene made no goddamn sense. It made the characters look stupid. It looked stupid for the sake of the plot. Why is this fight happening? For the sake of the plot, not because it makes sense that it's happening. This was borderline stupid at any point. And I've always said, if you're working somewhere as a job, as a professional, and this is any industry, whether you're a cook, whether you're in construction, whether you're a writer, you're the professional of that industry. If you're working in that industry, you have a higher standard to what other people can do. And you guys are fucking dumbasses. Like, there is no getting past this. People are always going to look back at this and just be like, what in the fuck were these two idiots thinking when they got together and they said, yeah, we'll have them team up. You know, the guy that's working for Salem is a murderous psychopath, and Crow, our hero, will team up with him of his own choice to take down an Aesop's guy that he's been friendly with all season. I'm sorry, there was only one person I saw on Twitter that's a bit of an idiot, and she is. Because she's going, oh, Tyrion, I hate him. It's all his fault. And I'm like, it's not Tyrion's fault. It's not. It's the writer's fault. Tyrion's a fictional character. The writers wrote the characters like this. They're fucking morons. They have no idea what the hell they're doing. They have no idea what the characters are doing. They broke it. This episode could have been so good with what the animation did, with what the music did. This could have been so good. We're all just waiting for Salem to show up. We all thought, oh fuck, the Grim invasion's coming. Didn't fucking happen. And then this happens. And this is where I'm gonna go even one step further, because I've now shit on Kersi Burkhardt. Bitch, you can go back to writing horse books that are gonna sell to some friggin' weird teenage girls that are obsessed with girls and horses, because that's the only thing you're ever gonna bloody accomplish. All your LGBT stories that you wrote were fucking garbage. People, even the LGBT community, doesn't like your fucking books. So go back to writing horses. Eddy Rivers, congratulations. Like, if you're still writing in Volume 8, Rooster Teeth are fucking morons at this point. That's what I will say. They should be cutting you free now. They're like, what? You need to do a public apology. That's what Kersi Burkhardt and Eddy Rivers need to do. They need to get on Twitter and apologize for their own stupidity at this point. But what I meant by this goes one step further. Regardless of them writing this episode, they were put in control to write this episode. When it comes to the creation of a form of media, it comes down to the producer and the director. Those two people okay everything that goes through the show. The show is, at that sense, their project and their responsibility. So when Eddy Rivers and Kersi Burkhardt made this decision to write this stupid fucking episode, whoever's in charge, whether it's this Connor guy, this other guy that's been playing around in charge, I think is the lead editor at Rooster Teeth. He's been having a go at production and shit, producing. Whether it's him, I'm not sure about this position. It's either him or Kerry Shawcross, one or the other. But you need to be held accountable as well, because they handed you the script for this episode. You read it. You thought it was a good idea. You okayed it, and you let it happen. At this point, I'm just like, this. You guys, this season, people were like, oh, this is gonna be the ultimate season. And I've been asking all people online. I want their honest opinions on. I'm gonna do a video in the future, 2 videos, the flaws of Volume 7 and the positives of Volume 7. I'm gonna give credit in the positives video on the things I did like and where they went, as well as other people I've asked online. Everyone that I've asked, from Floof to Vex to Raymond to Fatman to Dashi, Adele. I've asked all these people. Mercury Black. Blastman, asked all these people in DMs, tell me what you. So far, I've asked them their flaws. What do you think are the major flaws so far? And a lot of us are agreeing with the flaws. I'm going to ask them soon about the positives. What did you like about this episode? But this. This season. But this episode is a prime example of, you can have a good. I'm not going to say this is the best season. I'm going to say you can have a good season going. And when you have this one, like, you just. Apparently, a lot of people like the last episode. But when episodes like this happen, and it's like the second last episode, and it's this bad. Well, look what happened in Volume 5, man. I mean, it wasn't that great consistently, but when it got to the ending of Volume 5, the fights, like, thank God the animation's gotten better. The fight choreography's got better from Volume 5, but Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, I'm gonna start fucking laughing. I can't help it, I'm laughing. I watched My Hero, and it's a summary episode of the overall arc. You're seeing the 4 heroes that were in, well, more than 4 heroes, but you're seeing how people are dealing with the aftermath, their characters growing, they can't sleep, blah blah blah. You're seeing Lemillion. My Hero had a pretty good summary episode, as well as an introductory episode into what's coming next. It did it so well. And then you watched Ruby, and I was like, I have low expectations going into Ruby. I was just like, I'm wondering who's gonna die. That was my only question. I was like, who the fuck's gonna die? Come on, kill some fucking idiot. Oh, I was praying for fucking Juniper or some shit. Like, just fucking kill these assholes at this point. And then you can't even kill a character properly. You can't even accomplish that. Guess the only thing to say at this point, one more episode and I'm done with the show. Oh, and if you asking, this has been in hospitality for about I would say I was in hospitality 1, 2, 10, shit, about 13 years I was in hospitality as a cook. I find when I'm nervous or I have like any form of anxiety, or when stress is getting to me, I play with knives. Um, it's just something in hospitality you do, especially small knives. You don't flip big knives, but little knives and shit, It's like when you have a stress ball. For me, it's knives. I play around with fucking knives. But that's my view, man. This episode, the animators good, music good, writing and directing absolute fucking garbage. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Wish the animators all the best. You guys did really well, and good musical score.